Hey guys, how are you? This is Jeff with the Tattooed Spirit. I am very excited to share a new friend.
Absolutely.
A new friend with you guys, and he has an incredible ability, skill, talent. I don't know, we're going to get into what exactly you
Gift.
call it.
I
It's
call
a
it
gift. It is a gift. It is a gift. He's going to be working and sharing the office here with me on the times where I'm not here. He's going to be in here, and we're going to I'm just really excited to introduce to you Michael. Michael, what exactly is your gift?
Spiritual medium.
Michael is a spiritual medium, and I must say that I've had nice, sweet, surprising experiences in the past with spiritual mediums, but I really had a fantastically impressive, heartwarming, borderline therapeutic session with Michael just now, involving a very dear one in my life that had passed over. And so I'm very excited to introduce Michael and his website for anyone out there who has curiosity about spiritual mediumship. And I'm going to sort of turn the camera on you, so to speak, to ask a little bit sort of how did you get into this, and sort of how you feel that it benefits people to come to you for this gift.
Sure. I mean, I've always had this gift, so I kind of always had it when I was even little. I could see things.
Okay.
And I think I reached a point in my life where I couldn't not do it anymore.
Okay.
And I had gone to several trainings where mediumship trainings.
Okay.
And every training I went to, the person who was giving the training would call me out sort of like on a break and say, you should be a medium, like that's your purpose in life. You know?
What did they see in the class of all people that are there to study how to do this? Did they ever share with you what they saw in you or with you?
They didn't say specifically, but it was just when we were practicing or doing readings, I was already sort of jumping way ahead. So even though I didn't have any official training at that point, I was able to just sit somebody down, do a very accurate reading. Like people would start crying in front of me when I was doing readings.
It's always good when you can get them to cry. You tap their emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a great thing.
Exactly.
And so you go.
I'd be kind of like, whoa, what did I just do? You know,
Uh-huh.
like when I was first learning how to do this, but they would just say like, well, you already know how to do this. You know? Because the thing is, anybody can be a medium. Anybody can, use their gifts of intuition, mediumship. Certain people are more vibrationally attuned to it naturally, but that's all it is. Anyone can learn to do it. And I just am very attuned to it.
Okay.
That's really all it is.
And you said you've been doing it always as long as you can remember,
Yeah.
and you really said, okay, I need to turn this into something in these classes.
Yeah.
But as a young child, how did you know that what you were experiencing wasn't kind of what a lot of other people are experiencing, or did you just kind of think everybody sort of
No, I definitely didn't. It was actually very isolating.
Okay.
So it actually affected me a lot in my personal life, with my family, with my relationships, because I would see and know things that if the person... It's very hard to convince someone that what you know is happening with them, or hear about people around them, or know what they should be doing or not be doing, because you come off as arrogant, right?
Right.
You come off as a dick, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. You're the dick in the room, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like, but it's a knowing.
Okay.
We call it clairsentience. You just
Okay.
know. So yeah, it was very isolating. Actually, I didn't feel like I belonged to because I just knew things that other people didn't, and so I kept that in. Actually, that. You be quiet. You shut that down for a long time, and there would be periods where I'd come out and share it a little bit. And I remember right after I graduated college, I took a tarot reading class.
Okay.
And I was like, what am I going to do? I just graduated college. I'm a writer. It's the other thing I do. And I really liked it. And I was really good at it. And I saw one of those ads like in Craigslist or something for like the psychic hotline.
Okay.
Things, right?
We've all seen those. Yes.
Right? And so I was like, maybe I can do this, And I thought about it because my intuition told me that's what I should be doing, right? But then I thought about, what do my friends think about this? Like, am I really going to do this?
That'll
am I
stop
really
you
do this?
every single time. That'll get you. Yeah.
Right. So I just didn't do it. And then the consequences of me not doing it were years in jobs that I hated,
Okay.
wrong relationships, all those kinds of things. And there's only one in the last, couple of years where I had these major life transitions where the universe was like, we can't not let you do this anymore. We're going to make sure that you do this, so we're going to wipe everything away.
Exactly.
First.
they handed you the tower card, is what you're
Right,
saying. Okay,
exactly.
that's exactly
Okay,
right. To talk the
yes.
language that we all sort of understand here.
Exactly.
Now, the big stream of conversation in our community right now is about things that are metaphysical, beyond physical, beyond visible, and that's really what you do, is work beyond physical. Could you tell us in my subscription list about who you tap into, who you see, who you talk to, how you help?
Sure. Loved ones, guides, pets, really anyone who has passed over or connected. So I connect loved ones from the other side. So anybody that you have a personal connection to, whether it could be an animal, could be a spirit guide, they will come to me.
And what kind of guidelines would you suggest with someone coming to you with a mediumship reading?
A lot of people don't know this, but it actually, once you pass over, it takes some time to transition.
Okay.
So it can take about, I always say, don't ask for a reading if you're trying to speak to someone specifically for like 6 months after they've passed. And that is especially in the case of someone who commits suicide or has a severe drug overdose, that's the death. That can take about a year and a half before you really should ask for a reading to connect those people. Because
do you get anything with those sort of readings, or is it just sort of like it's not ripe, or it's just not time? How do you get that sense of
you
this
see
is just
it? Actually, you see it as a shadow.
Okay.
So you actually see this person more shadowy, and it's very hard for them to communicate. So you may get a word or a little this or that. You just don't get like a full conversation. It's very hard for them to have the full conversation. And the reason for that is actually because they are in rehab. Their soul is in rehab. And they are processing what they did and what happened to them, and the people they left behind are still grieving for them. And so for them to communicate with those who are grieving energetically would be really, really hard for them to kind of throw them off their rehab, which is why they can't do it.
Okay. Is it important that the people who come to you know exactly who they want to talk to, or is some sort of cold reading a good scenario for someone to just say, I just want to experience connecting with anything that's connected to me?
Right. No, you don't need to have someone specific that you connect to. Some people do, some people don't. People are often surprised when they don't at who comes through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to share with you guys that I had a few different ideas of kind of who I would like to have connected with Michael in our session just before here. And I was kind of hoping with one particular person who was a dear client of mine for over a decade. And there were no questions with what Michael said, that this is exactly who I was dealing with, because we talked very specific things about only what this client that I adored for so long shared in common, and it was just me and this guy for years, and so it was a closed system, and so for Michael to be able to get in there and get inside that closed relationship that I had with this guy, it was just magnificent for me. And I had to actually, because we kind of did this to sort of kind of get a feeling of how Michael worked, I had to restrain myself, because I can understand people would get very therapeutically emotional in this, because you're tapping into clearly beyond metaphysical things.
Well, they do, and they also, a lot of times they will talk about your life's purpose, like your soul purpose, and like healing stuff. So you will start to see patterns of life, or there'll be forgiveness things coming up, or guilt, or shame, or all the things that people feel with relationships with family members that they had, or loved ones they had, or when they lose someone very close to them, very suddenly, very tragically, things they didn't get to say to them. But the important thing to know always is that it's always okay. It's always okay. They're always doing well. They're always happy. They're always at peace.
Do you ever get tired of just saying they're fine? They just happen to know?
No, I don't, because it's so rewarding for someone once you validate that the person in front of you. So when they feel that emotion of, oh my gosh, this is really happening, this is really that person. That's the first part. And then when you connect that with, and they're okay. They feel good. They're happy. They're free. They're not angry. They forgive me. They love me. And that they're with you all the time. They're always with you. And a lot of times they'll show me ways that they're with you. They'll say, did you finish that crossword puzzle last night that you were doing? Just so that they kind of, the person says, what?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
how do you know I was?
Yeah.
Because they're always
Yeah.
with you still.
And my friend that came in with me just asked me that one thing that I knew that it was him, and I was just like, okay, so this is a no BS situation,
Yeah.
and so I'm proud to share my office with you. I really, really am. And you mentioned something, excuse me, that I think is a really good point, is that to be able to come to a spiritual mediumship, to come for advice about your life. I mean, those who work with the cards the way a lot of us do, that they're very, very clear for suggestions and advice, but I can imagine that it adds a little bit of weight whenever you know that it is specifically coming from someone that knows something specific about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so really, really good idea if you're at a crossroads, or if you're looking just for some insight, some guidance, some sort of support, some sort of let me know that I'm not alone. Talk to Michael. He's a really great guy, and you can find him at
HollywoodHillsMedium.com.
HollywoodHillsMedium.com. Thank you for joining me.
You're
and,
welcome. I'm so happy to be here sharing this office with you. I'll try not to leave it a mess for you.
You better not, man. I got specific places for my stuff.
Yeah,
No, thank you so much.
you.
And you guys,
Thanks,
any
guys.
questions, call them for just, I mean, do you give free consultations, or is it just information is on your website, how this works?
Website. Oh, they can call me and I can walk them through how it works, or
Okay.
what to expect and prepare for reading if they're not sure.
All right, I love it. Thank you so much for viewing. Hope you found some value in this, and I will see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.